I'm working on this Lestronic golf cart charger because it would not charge my EasyGo golf cart. You see, sitting over there. Now, after checking out all of the connections on the golf cart between where the charger connect with the golf cart battery pack and everything, and ensuring that all of those were good, I turned to look at the charger itself. So these chargers have an outer case held on by a handful of screws on the side. So I've removed those screws. You can open it up and get into the charger itself. Now, there are two different forms of these chargers. One of them has a timer on the front. This charger used to have a timer on the front, and the other style is an automatic charger which senses the voltage in the battery pack and enables you to just plug right in. It starts charging and it stops charging once the pack is fully charged. There's benefits to both. The automatic chargers are far more convenient. However, the old-fashioned chargers with timers are helpful because when you have a golf cart that is really badly discharged, the automatic chargers won't turn on at all unless they sense around 28 volts of charge in the battery pack. They simply won't turn on. So the really old style with a timer are great because they'll turn on whenever you tell them to, regardless of how discharged the golf cart is. So looking at this charger, the problem is that when I plug it in, nothing happens. It won't charge. Now, these things have a board which has a little timer switch attached to it. This is an older style switch which I have removed. Here's a newer style switch. Something that you can do to test if your charger itself, if the major components are still okay, is you can jump the first and the third posts on your board. Now, different boards will have those in different places, but if you look really closely, you'll see they're actually labeled. This one says 2. Over here you can see this one is 1. And the middle one, I don't know if I can get my camera to it, but there is somewhere that shows the middle one is 3. You want to jump the first and the third posts and do it with the golf cart charger unplugged, but when you jump those two and connect them and plug the charger back into the golf cart first and then into the wall, if your charger begins to charge, then you have essentially figured out how to work around your board and your timer in order to make it charge manually. Now, there is a drawback to this if you choose to leave it in that condition with the two, poles jumped together, which is that the charger no longer has a timer or an automatic voltage shutoff. So what that means is that you need to either time it yourself, or you can go with a simple but effective low-tech solution, which is buy a wall timer. You can find them at places like Harbor Freight for $4 or $5, which enable you to put the wall timer onto your wall socket first and set how long you want the timer to run for. Then plug the charger into that. So you could set it for 3 hours, let's say, for a standard charge time, and make it run that way. Now I'm going to give you an example of what we're talking about. So this wire goes to my third pole here. Here's my first pole up in the top. Let's just get that to stay put for a minute. There we go. I have now jumped the third pole on my board straight up to the first pole on my board. And if you give me a moment, I'll go plug in the charger and you should be able to hear the charger begin operating. And there we go. It is now cranking out voltage and charging my golf cart. So, again, you can leave a charger just like this. It'll do the job, but you just need to be careful because if you don't time it, and if you just leave it plugged in, you can cook the batteries in your golf cart by overcharging them and essentially boiling all of the water out of the cells in your batteries, which you don't want to do because batteries are expensive. All right, there's my little tip on how to workaround, a problem that you might encounter on these old Lester golf cart chargers. Hope it's helpful.